Welcome into this Wednesday edition, Blue Sky Live, here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Ole Miss knocks off the UT Martin Skyhawks last night. I think 11-5 was the final score. It got a little long in the tooth there in the ninth inning. Kept going and going and going and going, but got that thing wrapped up. Ole Miss had a 7-0 lead by the third inning, and then kind of just coasted their way into the house for the win that puts them 35-17 on the year.
Did you do like a running play-by-play on the site, or did you wait and take the press release and put your name on it?
I contemplated the latter. I did make that joke to one Michael Katz at one point last night, as it was getting a little lengthy in the game.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but that's
could just knock that out. That was an option. I don't think I actually tweeted a single time last night, including the final score that I was at the park. I don't think I sent a tweet last night. I'm actually certain I did not send a tweet.
So how's that work?
Night.
If you don't tweet it, does it count as you were there? I mean, does it count?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, I think I probably skipped. I probably should have just skipped it because it would have been the same difference.
You didn't tweet the picture of my office for the day?
Looking live at and that is looking live at whatever
my office today.
That's true. Yes. That's a good one.
I'm a jerk. I know it. There's no wonder everyone hates me.
Well, and then last night we were all ready to go. They're playing UT Martin, for God's sake, and it lengthened a little bit in the ninth, and it was like 10 o'clock or something. We were down on the field, and it was my fault. We should have asked Mike like 2-3 questions and gotten out of there. And we started talking about former players being up because they got a little bit of a run. And then, I don't know, I just started talking to Mike. So I kept talking. I could look around going, would you please shut the hell up and let's get out of here? And I'm that's justified.
They could have
walked off.
They could have left. No. This is that pack mentality thing that I can't stand. So here's the thing. Like, in those scrums.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hate them, number one, because there's people that ask questions that are ridiculous. But I don't feel two things. I don't feel like I have to write every word that is said.
Yeah.
And then number two, if I'm done, I'm done. Me walking away from the thing is not disrespectful. It's just me going, hey.
And after I got done with that, I did go. Sam Hutchins, I'm not giving anything away. He's writing a story on Mason Nichols. Mason, incredibly intelligent, won the McWhorter Scholar Athlete of the Year award for the entire SEC. He's Taylor medalist.
Yeah. He's
going to go to med school. Super dude.
Yeah.
He was clearly writing a feature on Mason. Again, I don't think I'm violating anything by saying that.
It's okay.
If
that's the worst thing you do today, it's going to be all right.
He was waiting to talk to Mike about Mason once we all finished, which makes sense. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had asked a question about Pomeranz, and we were kind of talking about Pomeranz off and on. And in this media contingent, Mike and I are the only people that know Pomeranz because everybody else is fairly new. So we just start kind of talking. And when I got done with that, I was like, hey, thanks, Mike. I just turned around and walked off. He looked at me, hey, bye, and then kept talking. And then everybody started dispersing. But, yeah, I was noticing I was getting looks as I was asking about Rollison and Pomeranz and the thing. I was like,
absolutely, your prerogative. And as long as Mike was, like, willing to talk about it. I mean, because at any point he could have said, Chase, I don't really feel like talking about that.
Yeah, can we do
now.
this later? Thanks.
Yeah.
No, he's fine. He's actually in a good mood for whatever reason last night.
So, if he's having a conversation, you have the other people are not required to stay. And it's not disrespectful to Mike or you if they leave.
Mike was having a really I don't even know the word, like, I guess, demonstrative conversation with Joel Mangrum right before that. I'm kind of they're talking about it. I think it was about some players' body language, but Mike had Mangrum like for 4 or 5 minutes, like imitating what a player was doing and really using a lot of hands and stuff. I'd love to know what that was about there right before the game ended. Sorry, guys. It's Wednesday. We're just kind of here, day before the Auburn series. We've got a lot going on right now. My head's a little all over.
What's going on?
Nothing. And
you want to talk about it?
I don't. Well, yeah, I'd love to. But no. Anyway, let's play some Bills, and we'll come back. We'll get going on the show. Tell you about Blue Sky locations all over the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well. It's all the way down to the epicenter down in Macomb. And if you got a Blue Sky nearby, probably got a Sweet Daddy's nearby too. That's got catering. It's got pulled pork. It's got all kind of options for you, no matter the size, whether it's a family, extended family, or a bigger group, maybe a corporate event. They can handle that meal for you. Again, all Blue Skies and Sweet Daddies, including here locally in the Oxford with the Oxford Exxon. And we're coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our buddy Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Yeah, somebody asking in the stream if that was the farthest home run I've seen hit. Will Furness last night with a shot to right field. No, it's hard to know in the same vein as back in the old days because you don't have the tennis courts for reference and kind of knowing where some of those balls fall. But no, I don't think that went as far as a few that I have seen over the years. Stephen Head had one against Purdue. Chet Kreger, Oxford native, played for Western Kentucky in 2009, and that regional had one kind of the same spot that went a long way. I think the kid's name was Kevin Patterson at Auburn that hit one a really, really long way early 2010. And then the farthest I think I've ever seen, the two is now the one Judd hit in Arlington today might have been earlier this year, might have been in any park that I've seen. But in Oxford, Kenton Mathis, a kid for Alabama in 2009, hit one up into the parking lot in left field, like over the terraces up into like the second row of the parking lot. And then Pedro Alvarez in 06 or 07 hit one just right at the batter's eye up onto the hill right there in that gap right there. Off the top of my head, that's the ones that stick out to me. So
the ones that stick out for me, I saw Albert Bell hit one at Louisiana Tech.
Oh,
that had to go 500 feet. And I can't remember the guy's name. He was a power hitter at Auburn 20 years ago, at LSU, against Auburn at Plainsman. The ball, Cruz.
Who was that?
I think the guy's name was Cruz.
Okay.
He played at LSU.
Okay.
He hit one at Auburn that it went into orbit.
The bats were so different back in the day that there was some advantages.
And I still remember watching Nolan Arenado hit BP at Wrigley years ago when he was with the Rockies. Wild.
I mean, we've seen balls off the top of the batter's eye. I mean, those from a distance standpoint. Yeah, Furness last night, 420 feet, 39-degree launch angle, 103 mile an hour exit velocity. And again, that's 420 to kind of true right field, so that's a long way out of the park there at that point. Some people ask me if Austin Foley is okay. Yeah, he's all right. He'll play on Thursday. A little banged up there at the end of the game against Mississippi State on Saturday, but he's fine. No huge deal there. And Campbell Smithwick last night, credit to him, goes 4 for 4 with a walk in his opportunity. So reaches base 5 times last night against the Skyhawks. Again, Ole Miss winning 11-5 in that one. There's really not a ton to take from it from a notable standpoint. I got very little. Cade Townsend was fine. I think he's going to be a really good piece next year. I think he's still learning to throw. I think he's still developing. He's got a ton of talent. He's figuring out the walks a little bit. I thought he got frustrated last night because he got to a lot of 1-2, 2-2 counts and wasn't putting guys away. And I thought he kind of got out of rhythm a little bit at those points. But for the most part, Cade Townsend good last night. And it's an easy night for Ole Miss. I did not see a final. At one point, Auburn was up 18-0 on Jacksonville State last night.
Jack State came back and won 19-18.
They did? Okay.
It was a dramatic ninth
inning. But, yeah, Auburn coming in with some momentum, if you will. They swept South Carolina last weekend. They beat Tennessee 2 out of 3 the week before. And now facing the Rebels coming off that win over Jacksonville State. Like I said, 18-0 was the last I saw yesterday. That game only cost Ole Miss 1 RPI point last night, so not bad. or one RPI spot, I should say. I think it was like 7 on a point scale, but they only dropped one spot in RPI last night after playing that game. So they're 17 or 18, something like that.
Auburn held off a Jacksonville State comeback and won 19-1.
19-1. Okay. Jacksonville State run out of pitching a little bit last night. Bullpen day for the Gamecocks.
Got bigger fish to fry than the Auburn Tigers.
Well, in some ways, that's true. That game was not relevant to them last night.
No, the relevance is the tournament.
They have to win the OVC or whatever they're in.
What were you winning at Plainsman doesn't change anything for them.
Last night, Tennessee 9-4 over Belmont. Kentucky 6-1 over Northern Kentucky. South Carolina gets a win, 6-5 over Winthrop. 19-1, as Neal said, Auburn and Jack State.
I bet that was exciting. Gamecocks and Winthrop.
I mean, in-state battle. In-state battle.
Don't you know?
Louisville got tripped up by Bellarmine last night.
It happens.
It does. It's probably one they wish they had not played at some point.
Almost certainly.
Oh, gosh. And then UNA and State did not take the field last night. That was the other game. All that thunderstorm, precipitation in the Starkville area last night. Too much to get it done. Too much.
Too much.
Couldn't play.
No.
Couldn't handle it.
A lot of accumulation of just weather, just water.
That's a good point. Auburn has scored 63 runs in the last 4 games.
Yeah. Last 4 games, they've scored 24, 11, 11, and 19.
If they go 18-12, would you give Butch a Coach of the Year possibility?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I think they were picked to finish like 14th in the league. If I have that right? 13th, 14th?
You know me, I hate the Coach of the Year stuff because
you usually just give it to the best team.
And a team that does really well, that you thought would do well, you punish them because, well, you were supposed to do well. It ends up being the overachieving of the year award.
Do we actually give it to that person, though? Haven't we just been giving it to frankly, the conference winner? Like, didn't Pearl win it this past year?
Yeah, but
in basketball?
He did a great job.
He did. Yeah, I'm not criticizing. But, like, I mean, Dennis Gates was 0-18 the year before. Pretty big jump.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying. I mean, Ole Miss was picked next to last in the. I'm not saying Mike should not win Coach of the Year.
Well, who's going to win it? The Texas coach?
I don't know. I mean,
LSU. I mean, Johnson's done a good job.
That's kind of my point. Is I mean, in some ways, sure on Schloss, but I would contemplate Butch if they take 2 out of 3 this weekend. Yeah, you end up with a top 5 RPI. You host. You were picked way down the
guy at Alabama deserves some consideration.
Oh, he's been great. Yeah. That's that. Actually, they were picked 14th. They were picked 1 spot ahead of Ole Miss. Ole Miss was picked 15th, and actually, from a vote standpoint, was closer to Missouri than Alabama. Missouri was picked 16th, obviously.
Yeah,
they got that one right.
If he wins a couple this weekend, he could get out of 16th. If they swept State and Carolina got swept, Missouri would be the 15th.
Oh, really?
Coach of the year.
Who is not
Coach of the month?
Who is not Coach of the Year is Paul Maneri.
No.
It's not coach of anything.
He shouldn't be the coach of the Gamecocks.
That title from 2009 feels a long way away right now for Mr. Maneri. It's a different lifetime ago.
Yeah, not a lot of meat left on that bone.
Dude he just stands there. I mean, there's no energy. There's no nothing. Just playing out the string. I think it's the Texas coach. I mean, he takes over program year 1. They're year 1 in the league. They win the league.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
kind of boring, but it's fine.
Well, you know what? I'll take the press release and just put my name on it.
You were looking at all the projections yesterday.
I was.
You were checking it out.
I looked at them.
Getting game plans in place, seeing what's going on.
Well, I looked at the one. Was it Baseball America?
I think
they had Ole Miss as the 2 in Chapel Hill matched up with
Eugene.
With Eugene. I started to say Oregon State, but it's Oregon. And I was like, geez, that's kind of doable.
I mean, look, it's really simple on what you want if you're an Ole Miss fan is to avoid SEC teams.
Yeah.
You don't want an SEC region, super regional. That is the only answer.
You don't want to get sent to Baton Rouge or Knoxville.
And I think you want to avoid Florida State for a couple different reasons. They're good. They've got a really good 1-2 on the mound. You'd be probably facing in a winner's bracket game if you got there your former teammate, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because Mendez, I think, is still throwing on Saturday for the Seminoles. He was really good early. I haven't even looked him up now to see how he's doing. But, yeah, I think you're trying to avoid SEC schools in the supers, and then you're trying to avoid Florida State in the regional. I think that's kind of where I have it set up. And you don't want to go out west for the regional just because it gets kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
You've got stuff that it just doesn't.
Well, you're used to playing in front of crowds and stuff, and now you're playing in front of 350 people.
Mendez has gotten banged around a few times, but he's been pretty good overall. Clemson got after him. Louisville got after him. Wake Forest. Actually, the better teams have gotten after him, and then he's been awesome against bad teams. Okay, so it's leveled off some for Mendez from what it was early in the year when you were like, oh my God, this is turning into a really bad situation for Ole Miss. But he has a 4.81 ERA and has gotten knocked against the 4 or 5 good ACC teams that there are out there. You got North Carolina, Florida State. Miami's okay. There's a few. Hayden says everyone's winning in Knoxville. You just have to take your boxing gloves with you. You have to handle it.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of environment. You have to handle it.
Yeah. Auburn
handled it by just kicking them in the teeth on the field.
Auburn handled it because that's the way Butch operates. Yeah.
You have to be level playing them. You can't try to match their crap. You have to just – because you bother them when you don't react. If you just play.
Just play.
Just play. That's why in a lot of ways Arkansas is not a great matchup for them this weekend. It's up there. They're not going to react to their crap.
No.
He's had success against Arkansas in the past when they've been able to get Van Horn to react to him.
Yeah.
They essentially try to piss off Van Horn for 3 days, and when it finally works, Tennessee has an advantage. Because they had the big kerfuffle
a few years ago.
They
kind of got this whole thing started.
Yeah, they got at each other on the field.
About a recruit or something.
And said some things, and it got a little sideways.
Well, Van Horn's old school about the whole recruiting thing, and Vitello is not
old school about the recruiting thing.
At all. And so
it's very new school, if you will.
Oil, meat, water.
Saw this morning. I'm wasting a segment here to get on something else in a second. But I found this, whatever. I was looking at one of the newsletters, and all the Michigan schools had put out their alcohol sales for last year.
Okay.
So Michigan State, and Central Michigan all put out their thing. They had a number one favorite beer in each stadium. You would think that would stay the same, whatever. But
Paris Brewing Company.
I don't think it's available in Ann Arbor, or at least in the stadium there with the Wolverines. But I think I'm going to have this right when I say this. Michigan preferred Coors Light the most. They had the most Coors Lights.
Okay.
Michigan State had the most Miller Lights. That was their top seller.
Okay.
And then Central Michigan had the most Michelob Ultras. That was their top seller. So 3 different ones for those 3.
So Central Michigan really likes their water.
Is that what you're saying? You got a problem with?
No, it just tastes like water.
You're screwing up they're going to call us one day and go, nope, Neal said we're water, so we're not going to advertise. We're not going to promote.
Michelob Light used to be really good. It was a good beer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Northern Michigan put theirs out too, but did not break it down by brand. I have what is Northern Michigan's even mascot? I've never heard of that school.
I've heard Kid Rock sing about Northern Michigan, but I don't think he's referring to the university. I think he's referring to the region.
Northern Michigan University Athletics. I'm sorry. Yeah, seriously. Today they're the Wildcats.
Wildcats.
Well, it's that scene you mentioned, Nicola Walsh. That scene in, have you watched any Landman with Billy Bob Thornton?
No.
It's the same guy that did Yellowstone, kind of the same sort of whatever. And he's sitting at the bar. I'm not giving it. Watch the show, really good. But he's sitting at the bar and he goes, "Yeah, I'm not drinking tonight. I'll just have a Michelob Ultra." And the bartender puts it down and he's like, that has alcohol in it. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna drink 6 of these. I'm gonna move on or something. The guy goes, Well, he says he's not drinking, but that has that. He's like keeping on and on and on. And Billy Bob goes, look, I'll make you a deal. I'm going to have 6 of these, and then I'm going to talk to you and leave. Tomorrow night, I'm going to come back and have six whiskeys, and you tell me it's the same damn thing.
Yep.
It's like, okay. It's like, fair. All right, I get it. It's not wrong.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was good. So anyway, we got some college football times for opening weekend. Everybody always likes those. I kind of forgot. I'll get to them later in the show, but I kind of forgot Notre Dame and A&M are playing. Is that week 1, week 2? They're playing early.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Clemson, LSU,
Mm-hmm.
and Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Those are all really early. We got a bunch of big non-cons.
Georgia plays Miami or something. Is that right?
Is that true?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look at all that in a minute. But I just was kind of scanning through and went, oh, I didn't even realize that. I was kind of glad that I saw some of it as we were going. So anyway, all right, we'll come back. We'll talk some other stuff in a second. First, we'll do that. Summer's just around the corner. Folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. Say goodbye to overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. They come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. Mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment, $45, 3-month, 5 gigabyte plan required. New customer offer for 3 months only. Taxes and fees extra. Mint Mobile for details.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, but different names, same great people, products, and services. I think I'd get that down by now. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call our friends at Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Memphis, South Haven, Olive Branch, those areas, call our friends at Southern 662-429-4429. Brought to you by Window Hero, from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. Window Hero has the experience, equipment, expertise necessary to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. Their experts are fully bonded, insured as well. So get in touch with them at 662-510-7077 or windowhero.com. Oxford locals and Ole Miss families, if you need dry cleaning or laundry done right, Lapel's Dry Cleaning has you covered. Proudly serving the Oxford community since 2016. Lapel's takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call 662-638-3149 to be added to their pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark Condominiums. Mention Rebel Grove for 50% off your first order. Trust Lapels to keep you looking your best. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego with Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. So whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what he can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. And we're brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. They're located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, stackable diamonds, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, basically whatever jewelry you're looking for, they've got it. Gifts, bangles, pendants, earrings. It's all there at Arnett's, and at Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler.
So, one thing I did forget to mention, when I was talking to Mike last night, they'd had a play in the game that at the time was fairly critical. I think Ole Miss was up 8-4. UT Martin hit a ball in the gap, and they executed a really good relay. They go in Humphrey to Chang to Smithwick. and threw out a runner at the plate that if he scores, it gets a little dicey for a second. Ole Miss would have won the game, but kind of in the answer, Mike was very frustrated about their fundamental baseball over the weekend and had spent 2 days in practice just hammering them on everything from relays to bunt defenses to really getting back to the most basic of basics. So it was reminders, but also probably a little punishment after playing really poorly against Mississippi State in those areas of the weekend. But that was a pretty nice, attractive play last night that didn't matter in the moment. So Pete Rose sort of reinstated, but there's he is dead. There's a lot here. And I have seen some comments, and one of the reasons why I want to go through it a little bit is because if you don't kind of read the full story, you miss the point of what actually happened yesterday. It was not directly related to Pete Rose in any capacity.
Okay.
So Rob Manfred, who's in the running for worst commissioner of any major sports league ever at this point, I think that's fair to say.
Absolutely. One of the horses in the contention as they turn for the home stretch.
He gets a post in the Derby. He is
when he says, and down the stretch they come, he says, Manfred.
He's either chasing or holding off, one or the other at that point.
Yeah.
So Pete Rose had spent more than 30 years on the permanently ineligible list after betting on baseball. We're talking about the all-time hits leader, 4,256 hits in his career for Rose, the whole deal. All right.
You're not old enough to remember how good he was.
No, I'm not.
He was great.
So Manfred did not directly reinstate Rose. He altered a rule where deceased players who have died, are removed from the permanently ineligible list.
Okay.
So basically, and I've got the actual quote and I can read it, but it doesn't really matter. I can paraphrase it. He's arguing that players could not harm the game any further once they are dead, essentially. He says that it has been very effective of a policy because they have not proven, for the most part, gambling in baseball since then. He proves that the reason this, Shohei says hi, but nonetheless. He says that once you're dead, basically you can't harm anybody and you can be whatever at that point.
Shohei didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
How could he have possibly known?
So Rose died last year, so in September at 83. So Rose and 16 other players were reinstated. I have the list. I got a couple I want to mention because I find
She Was Joe, right?
She Was Joe is in this. The Black Sox are very much in this group.
Okay.
As it goes on. Timing is a little odd. Manfred had rejected multiple Rose petitions over the years. Had not made this rule even in the past.
Didn't Trump ask him to do this?
That's where I was going.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep. He seemingly changed course.
Let's get political, baby. Here we go.
He seemingly changed course after meeting with President Trump, who has argued in social media posts that Rose should be reinstated. Rosenthal of The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic.
Yeah.
He has a column wondering what sort of precedent the reinstatement, especially if politically motivated, that does set. Now, this does not mean that he goes directly into the Hall of Fame. There's a process here. He and the other reinstated players will be considered by the Historical Overview Committee, which, okay, I need to take a second because the Baseball Writers Association is the most pompous group of people in America.
That's saying something, but yes, they're in the mix.
You don't really disagree. Again, they get a post in the Derby.
Down the stretch they come. Yeah.
Not only are you in the Baseball Writers Association of America, you're on the Historical Overview Committee.
Yeah.
You are not fun at parties.
The only way they're running at the Derby is if the dirt is incredibly pristine.
I mean, you are not the guy you want to have a beer with if you're on the Historical Overview Committee for the Baseball Writers Association of America.
No.
Oh, good God.
No.
You're the one guy who didn't vote for the one dude to make the Hall of Fame.
You're perhaps having a cognac in the leathered.
Yes. You did not think Greg Maddux deserved to get in on first ballot.
Absolutely not.
Because we don't allow that. So.
Ken Griffey struck out once.
Then that group decides if any of them warrant a hearing. If so, the Eras Committee will then vote on election into the Hall. Rose and any others would need to earn 12 of 16 votes to win, and the earliest that any of this could happen is 2027, the winter of 2027.
Okay.
At this point, he obviously deserves to be in for his play on the field. I don't. We've talked about the Hall of Fame or whatever. The steroids, because here's a question too. This means every steroid ban is more eligible too once they're dead, right? I get they're not permanently ineligible, so it's not whatever, but at some point.
This has never been my wheelhouse.
I mean, I think it's stupid because I see, and you can disagree, I see the Hall as telling the story of baseball more about the actual person.
Yeah.
I get that it's an honor. It is a huge honor. But to me, it's just telling the story of the sport. And you can't tell the story of the sport without Pete Rose.
No.
I think he should have been in.
I agree.
Or at least had tons of recognition in if you'd even put some sort of whatever.
I don't even think you have to put it. You ever been? I know we've talked about this. You've not been. They all have these plaques.
Yeah.
And the plaques talk about their achievements. You could include on the plaque that he was banned.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean,
that is the story.
It is part of his story. He went to prison. I mean, here's the truth. He bet on baseball. He lied about it.
Mm-hmm.
He lied about it because he was desperately hoping that it would just go away. He paid a monumental price. I mean, he went to prison. He
did 5 months of prison in 1990, I believe.
In Marion, Illinois. The game was his whole world. It was taken away from him. He died with that. Enough. He didn't kill anybody. I mean, he didn't. It's all silly. It's like the Barry Bonds thing. Why are we doing this with Barry Bonds? Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. He should have an opportunity because I think it would be cool for Barry Bonds to stand up there at Cooperstown, and he probably would get emotional, and maybe he would admit that he made mistakes. But Barry Bonds was absolutely – you can't tell the history of baseball without talking about Barry Bonds.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 points here. Big Ben says Pete Rose is punished for doing the one thing, literally destroy MLB. Look at boxing. Look at people with the NBA draft. People think baseball is rigged by gamblers. It would die. Hayden, it's the Hall of Fame, not a sanctuary. Just tell the truth on the plaque.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you.
I agree completely. And people say, well, where does it stop? I don't know. That's for voters to determine. Had it not been for steroids, would Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa be Hall of Famers? The answer is no. Would Barry Bonds have still been a Hall of Fame player without steroids? The answer is yes. Would Roger Clemens have been a Hall of Fame player without steroids? The answer is yes. But you can include on their plaques that they took performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, put Rose in as a player and make a point that as a manager he cheated or bet. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't bet as a player.
But Pete Rose as a player, I guess he was a player manager there when some of the bets got made or something.
I think he was the last Major League Baseball player manager because Don Kessinger was the last in the AL, and I think Rose was the last in the ENO, if I have that right.
Yeah. But, I mean, I always hate, I'm a Cubs fan, and Ron Santo, the late Ron Santo, who was such a nice man. Such a nice man. He desperately wanted to get in the Hall of Fame. His family wanted him in the Hall of Fame. He got in only after he died. I mean, you cheated the man of a cool weekend a cool year, but a weekend with his family, and it would have been, I don't know. I get sappy and sentimental as I get older, I guess, but I met Ron Santo. I've told that story, and he was such a nice person. He didn't have to be nice to me that day. He didn't have to sit in the stands and talk to me for an hour while we watched the Cubs take BP. He didn't have to. Could have easily been like, go away. And I would have gone away. One of those kind of people, and, it meant something to him, and I don't know. I hope for the Rose family, if this means anything to his family, that they put him back in. The Black Sox scandal is fascinating. That is a deep dive. If you ever go down that road, it is wild.
It's wild in so many ways because you have very clear plans in place to throw it.
Yeah.
You have Jackson who hit well. It's all about timing, not overall stats. Whatever you think on his performance in that series. And then what you see from this, and I was going through this, a couple of things that I had pulled, is that back then you were guilty until proven innocent. If there was any chance that you did anything or even was associated, you were banned from baseball forever. Because the two that I'm pulling out here, Buck Weaver, one of the banned people who has been reinstated now after death. Weaver did not participate in fixing the 1919 World Series, but he also did not report his teammates after learning of their plan. He turned down money to play poorly, turned it down, and hit .324, but was banned anyway for not speaking up.
He probably was scared to speak up.
Yeah.
What would happen had he spoken up?
I just don't think that's against the law. I mean, I'm...
And it's debatable whether Jackson actually did anything.
Mm-hmm.
They ruined his life. He never got to play. It was done. Ended up being like a liquor store. He ran a liquor store in his late years.
He hit .375 in the series.
It's pretty good.
But at a minimum, knew of the plans and did not report them. He may have also received thousands of dollars in cash. A Chicago jury acquitted the players in 1921, but Jackson, along with his alleged co-conspirators, received lifetime bans from baseball. The Hall of Fame would not open until 1936, blah, 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 blah. Jackson was denied in 46 and in 36 when he was mentioned back then.
Yeah.
To get in. The other one, and this shows you, like I said, just if you was any doubt or you had any association whatsoever, there's a ton of Black Sox out of this deal. This one's for you because this is the one that I really don't get. Because we've got so many players, it shows you the different eras is what it does. I guess let me back up there. It shows you the difference in eras and how they had not dealt with this. Because we have plenty of players in the Hall of Fame that have some sort of transgression legally or otherwise or have been accused of something. Benny Koff is one of the guys that's been reinstated. You ever heard of Benny Koff?
I've not.
Okay. Koff was the first player ever to be banned from baseball for a reason other than working with gamblers to fix games. Okay.
Okay.
He was accused of stealing a car, repainting it, and selling it with his brother in December 1919. Though he denied the charges and a jury acquitted him, he received a lifetime ban from baseball.
Wow.
Died in 1961 at 71 years old. He hit .311 with a .450 slugging percentage in his career. How the hell?
I don't know. Ray Lewis is thankful he didn't have that.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Well, this happens in press boxes. We were killing time last night trying to come up with like the most inappropriate jerseys you could own and wear.
Oh.
Like where people look at you and go, "Oh, what are you doing?
What are you doing?"
Yeah. It got pretty. I mean, it's dark.
Aaron
it got
Hernandez.
pretty funny. Well, that's the rush.
That's
the Rushmore.
That's the winner.
Yeah, but there was a lot of contenders as we were
like what?
The one that I pulled out is that nobody really had thought about. You got to be a Saints fan, but Darren Sharper, big time Saints player on that Super Bowl team, and is serving 15 to 20 years for essentially roofing people multiple times. If you go to his Wikipedia page, there are bullet points and bullet points and bullet points. You get on down the list as that goes on.
It's bad.
You think college kids start games?
Yeah. Basketball especially. No doubt.
We haven't had I know we've had the recent stuff with the Iowa and Iowa State and a lot of that stuff. Alabama, obviously with the coach, with Bohannon. But like the national scope, we haven't really had one since, was it Minnesota in the 90s? Was that right? Is it Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota. There was, when I was a kid, Tulane in the 80s, because I had a T-shirt that I absolutely loved. It was the green wave with shaving cream all over its face.
That's fantastic.
I loved it so much. It had their schedule in the back. Like they played at Alcatraz. It was great. I loved that. Loved that shirt so much.
But you think so?
Yeah. I mean, this is not popular, and I think Tyler gets mad at me for doing this.
Really?
I think so, because he is able to responsibly bet, but I do think it's
there are a lot of people who can't.
I think it's very dangerous that young people, or any people for that matter, can just walk around with this betting app on your phone and you can just bet all day. I think it's dangerous. I think it's clearly addictive, and you start chasing losses.
For people who have not seen it, I'm putting in the chat. Here's the shirt Neal's talking about.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss that.
Tulane basketball.
Yep.
It's got a razor and shaving cream.
Yeah.
1985-86 Tulane basketball schedule. Central Lockup, Angola.
Yep.
Parish Correctional, Sing Sing, Leavenworth.
Yep.
Christmas robbery tournament. Attica.
Joliet Maximum Security Correctional Facility. I love that shirt.
I mean, in the thread of your mom's, Neal says, Neal, you're one bet away. I mean, it's the problem we talk about with gambling. If you get down that road, you're one bet away from maybe getting it back, or you're one bet away from having a lifelong addiction and you never get it back. Like, you're always one.
Yeah.
Tublo says, have you ever been close to breaking a story about a team betting? No, I've never had any proof of that at all.
No.
I don't know that I've even had any inkling.
No. I mean, if you told me it happened on a team I've covered, I'd buy it. But no, I've never been anywhere close to that. Yeah, I loved that shirt. I wore it twice a week in high school.
It's like, how'd you come across? Like, were they selling them everywhere? Like,
I don't.
How did that happen?
I was 15. I don't remember. I probably saw it at Pecanland Mall or something and bought it.
Oh, we've known of a ton of stories that have never broke because you couldn't get that one source or there was some reason why. You know it's true, but
sure,
it just one thing goes different here or there, and
you can't write it unless it's 100%. You got to about 95.
You go. Yeah,
there's that. I mean, it has to be completely right.
Oh, Ole Miss was doing betting on locker room boxing. That's true. Is it Rod Taylor that broke his finger or hand?
It sounds right.
Doing the locker room boxing back in the day.
That was Houston, right?
Is it Houston or Hugh?
Was it Hugh?
When was Rod here? We're getting old. Like,
you think?
I'm having a hard time putting players in eras right now. No, it was Hugh. Rod Taylor played for Ole Miss from 14 to 17. So it was almost all of Hugh's era.
Hugh probably fought back on us when we tried to report that. Like, oh, come on, guys.
Kids being kids.
Yeah. Were they boxing with gloves or were they boxing with hands?
Help me if somebody, like,
I don't remember.
If someone is out there can answer me, please let us know. For some reason, I think it was makeshift gloves. Like it was pads or socks or something.
What could possibly go wrong?
Mark said he broke his collarbone. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I didn't remember specifics. 2015.
I remember Vince Sanders breaking his collarbone at practice, and Hugh was right in front of Hugh, and he just lost his stuff.
At who?
At the cornerback who
hit him?
Hit him, yeah. He wasn't supposed to hit him. They weren't in pads.
And he broke his collarbone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's...
He was pissed.
That's grounds for removal, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, All-American does it, and you go, hey, you idiot, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Walk-on does it, go, hey, showers, bricks.
Peace out.
That's it, bud.
Hit the portal.
Oh. There's been a lot of portaling back then with some guys.
There'd have been some portaling.
Everybody who got in the circle of untrustables under Houston.
Me and VZ.
You and VZ. Is it Bolden and Neat that are in the photo together?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? The one that's always out there?
Yeah.
I think it was Bolden and Neat.
Javi hit a walk-off. How about that? I didn't know that.
All right. Mark said they had gloves. It was like 2 weeks before the season started.
Yeah, I remember it was in August.
Okay. Whatever. All right. Let's might carry us into the next break. There's a couple different things here, but ESPN had that deal they were trying to set up with Fox and all the different sports networks to have a one-stop shop to get all your sports coverage in one place. It's the streaming standpoint. And they were going to charge like $50 a month, I believe is what it was. Something like that.
Okay.
So now that got scrapped earlier this year or late last year, one or the other. That got put away. But now they're going to do this. ESPN is finally later this year, I think July is the month that they are saying is going to do this, is going to offer a standalone streaming service for for ESPN content.
Okay, this is what Clay Travis was tweeting about yesterday. Is
Was
that
he?
correct? Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that.
He put up a poll asking people if they would pay for this.
Okay. So the new service will be called ESPN and will cost $30 a month. So it's expensive.
Okay.
That's pretty expensive.
$29.99 though, right?
I'm sure.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You get a new car for $19,999.
Yeah.
But I think it says $30 a month.
Okay.
And it says that it's taken a decade to do, partly by the fact that Disney owns ESPN and is trying to figure out the state of the TV industry because you don't want to cut off one hand to help the other because there's a lot going on here. So let me go through it a little bit.
Okay. All ears.
So one scenario is you don't pay for cable TV, but you love sports. And now you hear that ESPN will now let you buy a streaming version of the sports channel for $30 a month. You don't have, all you're doing is using rabbit ears or some internet. You don't have a Hulu account or a YouTube account or DirecTV or whatever.
Okay.
You're just watching what sports you can get through your phone or for free or through your rabbit ears.
Okay.
The alternate scenario is you pay upwards of $100 a month for cable TV in whatever capacity that looks like. And you're really only doing it so you can watch sports because they're added into everything else. And I just got a package through my YouTube or my DirecTV or my Dish or my actual cable outlet or whatnot. So when standalone ESPN comes along, you go, hey, I'm only watching sports anyway. I'll drop it to $30. I'll save $70. And those are the two scenarios that they're good for ESPN when they launch this product. Okay.
Okay.
Either way, a company's going to get a monthly subscription from you. But for now, Disney is really going heavy on the first scenario and saying they're catering to people who don't have anything, and they were trying to add them a cheaper option when they don't have anything to just get the ESPN in the games. Jimmy Pitero, who's an ESPN head, says our priority is looking at the 60 million plus people that are on the sidelines. He said at a launch event on Tuesday, referring to the pool of people who don't have a TV subscription. But the truth is that both ESPN and the rest of the TV industry know there are people who might stop getting cable TV once they can just get ESPN, which means they know the new service could help speed up the ongoing erosion of the cable TV industry. It also explains why this launch announcement, the service itself came online sometime in late summer in time for the NFL season, or will come, is taking place in 2025, and there's been intense speculation for almost a decade about this. Says they're trying to keep a foot in both canoe because Disney doesn't want to lose the erosion of cable TV for everything else because they own so many other properties.
Right.
That they've been really careful and hesitant to go back in the other way. It says while old-time TV networks are fading away, they still generate meaningful revenue and profits for Disney and every other cable TV owner. This has been going on since 2025. Said it's now commonplace for big cable channels like HBO to sell their program to standalone streaming services. The companies that own traditional cable channels are trying to figure out how to get rid of most of them. See, for instance, Comcast plans to jettison most of its cable properties into a separate company, and Warner Brothers is maneuvering to do the same. So who's going to actually pay for this? What's it going to look like? Who's going to do it? It says that it's a weird conversation because nobody's really sure, frankly. Nobody has any idea if this is going to work or how many people care. Because do you want to pay $30 for this? While you get a lot of sports, given ESPN's rights deals, the NFL, NBA, and many other college football situations, it's not giving you everything. Notably,
you're not getting
NFL.
You're not getting NFL Sunday Ticket.
The most important group of sports fans, giving the NFL's TV dominance, will still have to turn to other outlets to watch all the games, which are spread through Fox, Paramount, CBS, Comcast, NBC, Peacock, Amazon, and Netflix.
Yep.
So ESPN is not a one-stop solution for them. Again, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers teamed up a year ago to put together Venue for $50 a month, but it died before it ever got started. On one hand, the future, thinking about 10 years ago, is finally here. You're going to have this option. But on the other hand, now that you have it, Seriously, no one has any freaking idea how many people are going to pay for it. I think what you're relying on is a generation that does not pay for subscriptions, young people, to carry this bitch. And I just don't know if that happens.
Cynical.
I think that's the only way it works is if young people go, I'm just watching sports, sure. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Do they watch sports? Do young people watch sports?
You would know better than me.
I mean, man, they consume a lot of highlights. When they watch a lot of YouTube, I don't know. I don't know. Getting a 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid to pay $30 a month for a service like that, I don't know how mainstream that's going to go.
So then what is their market? What is because they're admitting they don't know. They're doing it just because why not? But what's the primary target?
I don't know.
It's not me. I care about too many other sports. I'm not gonna give up Hulu or YouTube TV just for ESPN. Not a chance in hell.
Well, okay.
And I get ESPN by subscribing to YouTube or Hulu. So
I mean, we're in a pretty sports heavy stream right here. How many of our people only watch sports? That's all you watch.
I mean,
come on.
Yeah, hardly any.
I mean, I couldn't sell that in my household. Hey, Laura, we're going to turn everything else off except sports. She watches shows. She streams shows on Hulu and Netflix, and she watches food stuff. And no, I mean,
is there a segment of the demographic that only streams shows on Netflix and Peacock and things, and then could just get their sports through?
Well, there's definitely a segment of society that doesn't keep up with sports. That they don't watch any sports. They don't care about sports. I mean, there's half the TVs in America don't flip to the Super Bowl. I don't think this will work. If I'm in the room, I'm going, I don't know, guys. If we're open to failing, okay, cool. But if heads are going to roll when we fail here, this is not smart.
Yeah, I don't know what the overhead is. I don't know what failure means for them.
Right. Maybe this is, hey, we've got to figure this out, and failure is baked in.
And just see what happens.
Sure.
Whatever. It'll give us a data point no matter what.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there and we'll figure it out.
And I'm sure they are a lot like us. I mean, we'd love that data point. I'd love to know what it takes to get 22 to 29-year-old people to subscribe to my website. I'd love to know what would it take.
I do think there are houses out there that only watch sports and documentaries and streaming shows that don't care anything about turning on other channels, if you will. Right. So maybe somebody goes, well, okay, I'll get this, and then I'll get
Netflix
and Paramount.
Right.
And then I'm paying $60. But at some point...
But you're not getting... Okay, but that's fine. But if you're a sports person, right? This is the ESPN thing. So let's say you are a sports person. You love sports. What does this $30 give you? Because it doesn't give me all my NFL shows that I want to watch.
No.
It doesn't give me Major League Baseball extra innings. Nope. It doesn't give me the NBA League Pass.
It doesn't give you NBA games on NBC.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to subscribe to something, because if I'm Mr. Sports, I'm watching sports. Do I get TNT on this because they're gonna have some baseball and
that's Turner? Nope.
What am I getting? I mean, what am I getting?
Yeah, I mean, what they're saying is they're trying to get the people who don't have the Hulu, the YouTube. Because right now, if you want to watch ESPN streaming, you have to sign into a provider.
Right.
You can't just subscribe. I mean, Nash's NFL, you can get most of your area on rabbit ears if you had to. During the day, sure. If you're in some areas. I tried to do that back in the day because I was getting Memphis channels, not Tupelo channels, and I needed Tupelo channels for the Saints. because Memphis is a Cowboys market, but Tupelo is a Saints market.
This is Cincinnati Reds territory.
Okay, sorry. All those Reds hats we see around everywhere, right? Wasn't when you were in Mobile with the Marlins blacked out?
Marlins. I'm going to lose my mind.
It's 10 hours away.
Oh, my God.
It's 10 hours away. I mean, Florida's a pretty long state. There's a long way between.
Well, you're close to Florida. I'm like, not Miami. It's going to be a minute to get down there.
Yeah, Pensacola doesn't have a team.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was like, I can buy the Braves, but like the Marlins? Do they actually have fans?
Oh, Jesus. All right, we'll continue this in a second. I'm not quite done. First tee, the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation is running the Points in the SIP campaign till the end of the month. That's the end of May. Qualifying donations of at least $5,000 made to the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation or in the Vol Society will be included in the bonus point program for 2 or 3 times the usual amount. So if you want to get your priority points up, now's the perfect time. It's important for tickets, parking, and plenty more. Call the foundation, 662-915-7159, or give to athletics.com.
Brought to you by the College Corner. Autographed footballs and helmets in stock. I guess we'll find out this weekend about hosting, but there is baseball this weekend at Swayze. If you're heading up, get your gear at the College Corner. You can stop right by the one in Oxford. It's right off of Sisk in the Oxford Commons. They'll have you in and out, ready for the ballpark in absolutely no time. We've also got all the football gear that you want to get ready for the fall. 8 games at Vaught Hemingway coming up. So you want to make sure that you're ready for that. Get all of your gear at the College Corner. They have 2 locations in the Jackson area and also online as well. I want to make sure I get that website correct. It's collegecornerstore.com. collegecornerstore.com. We're also brought to you by Argent Wealth. Call Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent on the Oxford on Blue Sky Live. You get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Get in touch with John if you're planning a trip. Maybe you're still finalizing that summer trip. Maybe you're already thinking about a holiday excursion. Get in touch with him. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget, and he will give you options that you might not find on your own. It is J. Edwards at regencytravel.net or 901-494-3387. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Podcast brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and they offer MedSaint. For your prescriptions at the same time each month, take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. Everything you need when you need it with G&M. So whether that's Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or G&M in Oxford, 662-236-2222. Revisiting key testimony in Karen Reed's retrial this morning.
The victim's niece and nephew are expected to testify today, and it's going to be that's pretty sensitive.
Oh wow,
area apparently. So they did not testify in the first trial.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why did they change it for them too this time?
Because the first trial ended in a mistrial, and they're trying to get a conviction, and I think they're
changed it up,
going for some sympathy here.
I brought it up last night at the game, and most people had not even heard of the trial happening.
What?
Yeah.
A group of sports writers?
Yeah.
Stop.
They weren't aware of it last night.
Those are usually really well-rounded people that have a lot of depth. I'm shocked that they were not aware.
Yeah, nothing about it last night.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
All the keeping up with Karen Reed isn't depth. It's just
it's not. It's your version of smut.
Have you followed, speaking of smut, have you followed the Diddy thing at all?
I refuse. I can't. No. I'm locked out on that one. I'm locking myself out on that one.
Boy.
Are you going to watch that trial next? Are they like cutting in? What are we doing?
They've done opening statements,
Okay.
and the
Do we go split screen? What do we do?
I don't know how they're going to handle that. I'm sure there's a lot of.
It's a big day for Court TV.
Oh, well, you're damn right it is. Hey, don't you? Hey, leave my Court TV alone, baby.
What kind of ads do we get on Court TV?
Oh, pretty weird ads.
Are they?
Yeah.
Like, what's the demographic you think of their viewer?
I don't know because I'm watching.
Well, I know, but do you feel like the ads are geared towards you?
No.
Okay.
Because there's one ad that they do all the time that sometimes I kind of feel like when it pops up in the back, I'm like, God, this is not in context. It's like for not spandex, but like women's Spanx. And it's showing, like here's how it contours to your body and stuff.
So women sitting at home is the larger demographic.
I'm guessing that's part of it. But yeah, that shows up, and I'm like, that shouldn't be in the background. It looks kind of.
Because I find that funny on
risque.
Specialty channels, like who the advertisers are. Because like the golf channel, it's nothing but financial institutions and erectile dysfunction, essentially, like over and over and over and over again with some insurance thrown in, and that's all you get on the golf channel, 24 hours a day. We're getting a good cross section in here about this TV thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people said, yeah, that would be whatever. A lot of people said, no, we just watch documentaries and sports. That's what we do. I think that's true. I think other than a little bit of broadcast, because I don't think you're getting news on TV anymore, really. You're doing news on your phone.
Yeah.
Watching or reading, whatever you're doing.
Yeah. No, I mean,
the number of people who just sit down and go, I'm going to watch 5:30 news and 6 o'clock news. No, that's not what's happening anymore.
That's probably an expiring demographic.
And if you're not caring about again, maybe you're really into Food Network, so you're getting some people for Food Network.
But
maybe
you can stream that.
Where is it streamed?
On demand. I mean, everywhere. Okay. I mean, like if I want to watch Iron Chef America and stuff, I can still.
But do you still have to do it on Hulu or YouTube TV, or does the Food Network have their own streaming service?
Maybe they do, but I don't subscribe to it.
Okay,
I'm not that.
So see, that would be a reason for you to keep your service.
Again,
in theory,
I would not be a person who could pull this off. I mean, that would be. I'm not married to a sports fan. So if I said to her, hey, we're just going to cut everything out except sports, she would say, well, why don't you leave with it?
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't keep up with sports.
Yeah.
At all. By far, it's one of the most, one of the things that people are most flabbergasted about with me.
Because people don't watch. I mean, Jeffrey and I ran across this one day when we were doing a Thursday show by ourselves. The top network shows now, I had never heard of most of them because the only shows I'm watching are on streaming services. I'm watching them on Hulu or Netflix or Apple TV or whatever it is. I'll watch those that come across my lens. But like, what's the top sitcom on NBC right now or CBS? Hell, I don't know.
No clue.
Got nothing. Like he literally mentioned a couple and I went, I've never heard of them because I'm not watching enough of those channels to even see the commercials and know they exist. They're just not even in my periphery.
No, if it weren't for like NFL Game of the Week type stuff on NBC, I wouldn't know what else was on NBC. I mean, think about it. The only time when do you watch CBS NFL?
And they break in and go Thursdays at 8:00, blah, 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 blah.
But I'm noseblind to it. I don't even hear it. I have no idea. You could throw shows at me and go, does this show exist or not? And I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, we have come a long way from Seinfeld and things like that, where Friends, where you're just, hey, we're locked in. We've got Monday night at 7 and our must-see TV and our thank God it's Friday. And
so we were telling
the whole deal.
I was telling the girls one day about like the Cosby Show. I mean, you didn't miss it. Was that like Wednesday night or Thursday night at 7:30? I mean, you just watched it. That was locked in. And they'd do spinoffs to see if that would gain traction. Those were shows that you knew when those shows came on. It's a different era.
Speaking
things
of,
change.
This is let me do some quick math. No, that's not right. 25, the 27th anniversary today of the Seinfeld finale.
Oh.
Seinfeld finale.
It was good. It was good. It was perfect for that show.
They close it in jail with the exact same dialogue as the first episode. The last sentence of dialogue is the very first dialogue of the first episode. It's about a button missing.
Yeah.
It's how they close it. 76 million viewers, making the third most watched overall television series finale. I'm assuming MASH is ahead of it. I don't know what else is ahead of it.
What night did Cheers come on? That was the Thursday night show, wasn't it? Cheers?
I don't know.
WKRP in Cincinnati
you're
was a Monday show, if I recall.
I'd like to get a list of that.
MASH was a Wednesday show, right?
And MASH is the most. All right, here we go. Cheers is number 2. MASH, 105.9 million viewers.
For the finale?
For the finale. Cheers, 80.4. Seinfeld, 78.
Okay.
The Fugitive.
Yeah.
Don't know it.
I don't remember that one.
Friends.
Yeah.
Down to 52. Magnum P.I.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Magnum P.I. was cool.
The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Different time. All in the Family.
MASH was on Wednesdays, by the way.
Okay. All in the Family, 40.2 million viewers.
Archie Bunker.
Your guy.
He was.
Family Ties.
That's a good show.
Home Improvement, number 10. Would never have guessed.
No, solid show. I liked it.
Frasier.
Okay.
Spinoff of Cheers.
Spinoff of Cheers. It had it was okay.
Dallas.
Oh yeah, boy, you don't.
I don't know. I'm too young.
The summer of Who Shot JR. Man, oh man.
Captivated a country.
It did. No, it did. Different era, but it did. But you didn't have streaming options then. That was what you watched, what you got. It was a totally different deal. No, the whole Who Shot JR absolutely captivated the country for a summer. And like I remember, like was it Friday night? You had or Saturday night was Love Boat and Fantasy Island. Those were the shows you watched because
that's what was on.
That's all it was on. Unless you were lucky enough that the Fullers left for the night and you could go up and try to watch Skinamax.
Get a little Cinemax at 10.
Just maybe see some boobs.
Get a little bit of a static boob.
Just a static boob at midnight. Boy, different world.
13, Everybody Loves Raymond. I never watched it. Never was into that show for whatever reason.
Oh,
I don't know. Ray Romano.
We used to watch that, and Laura loved that show.
It drove you insane,
and it drove
because
me
of the
nuts. Because I'm like, that's people
that's
think that's
right.
what sports writing is, and it's like, no, that's not it.
Star Trek: The Next Generation at 14, and 15, Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke. I was going to ask you about Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke, 15. That is what.
I remember Gunsmoke. My grandparents watched Gunsmoke, and the Lawrence Welk Show, and Hee Haw.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
30.9 on Gunsmoke, so that's the range there. MASH at 102, Gunsmoke at 30.9. Somebody mentioned Friday Night Lights. Yeah, I mean, it was not a viewing darling because it was all over the damn place on 3 or 4 different channels, but I still contend it maybe is the best pilot of all time for a TV show. I think Friday Night Lights is absolutely, inarguably a top 3, top 5 pilot when you look at just the first episode. It just got killed by the writer's strike in season 2, and then it getting bounced around to DirecTV and all over the place. And just skip it, guys. Just skip season 2. Move on. It never happened.
It's adventure.
Okay.
Just kill people. Hey, let's kill somebody. Why not? Sure.
We're never going to speak of it again. It's not going to pop back up. It's not Chekhov's gun. It just doesn't exist.
Nope.
Nothing.
Poof.
So, all right. We'll finally look at those TV times and whatever in a minute, although this is more fun here on this Wednesday, May 14th with you. But we'll tell you about NT Spark because, look, no matter what you're streaming, you're going to need some internet. So the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available, whether you're streaming the Rebels, ESPN, or whatnot, connecting with family and friends or more, they offer both a residential and business package with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service, nespark.com. NeSpark, get connected. Stay local.
We're brought to you by Parrish Brewing Company, mentioned them earlier in the show. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it incredibly well. They've got Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA. It's gained a tolerance for hops beyond what mankind has ever known before. The double IPA is the necessary outcome. It's brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from their favorite farm in Yakima Valley, Washington. You can expect pungent grapefruit aromas and flavors, tropical fruit, and less harsh bitterness than most double IPAs. Wherever you get your beer, look for Parrish. You'll be glad you did. I'll have a mailbag to you today if I'll ever quit procrastinating and actually just write the damn thing. It'll be up at rebelgrove.com, and it will be brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you as a licensed agent. With Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email art@arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. It's located on the Ole Miss campus, and they aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. They have visits and talks all the time, including most Thursdays. To learn more, contact Steven Scoltetti or Frank and Sherling at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu. Yes, NFL schedule releases today. We'll at least look at it tonight, but I'm not previewing that because whatever. We'll get some games. Credit to the NFL, though. Dominate the whole damn calendar.
Yep.
Get out of the draft. Now, hey, schedule release. We're gonna do that. Then we're gonna go into OTAs. We're gonna have camp.
Yep.
Have preseason. And then we're gonna play the season.
Yep.
Then we're gonna get out and we're gonna talk about the draft for 3 months.
Free agency.
Oh, yeah.
Don't skip free agency. Yeah. No, they
365.
100%.
We're always here.
They're the only sport that has mastered the full calendar.
And they have it. Whatever they do that day, they have done.
King, undisputed king. When the NFL flies into some place, they have fighter jets flying with them. They're on top of the world.
Big Ben said he saw a leak. So if it's true, the Giants open at Washington, at Dallas, and host KC. Hopefully, Dart can avoid that gauntlet. Good grief. Cowboys Chiefs versus on Thanksgiving Day. Somebody said. It's already come out. We'll play a little game, then we'll get into the thing. I'm just kind of curious if you can get these right. What year do you think the series finales were for these shows?
Okay.
MASH.
1985.
1983.
Okay.
1983.
Okay.
Cheers.
1990.
1993.
Okay.
Later than you thought.
Okay.
Did you watch it weekly?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved it. It was a great show.
The
Rebecca
Fugitive,
Howell.
I don't think you watched it or know that.
I was always like, Sam, why are you into Rebecca Howell? That makes no sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She had a good personality.
He was Sam Malone. He could have
Figured it out.
Yeah. He didn't have a personality. He was just
Sam Malone.
Former ball player.
Yeah.
The when he became the sportscaster and the growing injury and he rapped is great.
The Fugitive is 1967.
Yeah.
You did not know that show.
No, I did not.
We just said Seinfeld, 1998.
Okay.
Friends.
Ooh, so that would have been.
This is the first one I would have gotten right. I would have missed the rest of them.
It's like 2008?
2004.
2004.
95 to 04.
Okay.
10 seasons
Okay.
for Friends. Magnum P.I.
Ooh.
You can get in the ballpark for sure.
1988?
It's perfect. Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Says, is Higgins really Robin Masters? What really happened to Lily? Will Rick get married? At least 50.7 million other Magnum P.I. fans want to know the answers to those questions too. The Cosby Show.
1986?
1992.
Really?
Went later than you thought.
Oh, I didn't. Wow.
Theo graduated from NYU in front of 44.4 million viewers, and Denise returned via phone to reveal her pregnancy. But the real shocker was when Cliff finally got the doorbell to work properly after he'd been trying to fix it all season. All in the Family.
You're asking me to guess on All in the Family?
Yeah. 2 more.
1980?
1979. Good guess.
Okay.
Family Ties.
Oh, I like this show. 1989.
That is 100% correct. Viewers turned in to see if Alex would take his dream job in New York and leave the Keaton family on Family Ties, the beloved 80s sitcom that turned Michael J. Fox into a teen idol. Home Improvement, 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheers is worth watching. I mean, there's not really an actual plot, but I mean there are plots, but it's good. I don't like it as much as a lot of people, and I think it just might be age and era. But it is not done. I mean, I've watched all of them, and I felt like it was necessary, but it's not one that does anything for me. Yes, Lost is a great pilot as well. Sorry, that's in the
Yes.
stream.
Yes.
Lost is a fantastic pilot.
It was really good.
Gets a little weird toward the end. Went too long. They were making money. So we're going to keep pushing these bad boys out. All right, LSU and Clemson. That's going to come up 6:30 on August 30th, the opening weekend on, I think, ABC is what they're doing with that.
Has Ole Miss announced a date for their, the time for their first game?
It's Georgia State. No, I have not seen one. August 30th, 6:30 is Clemson. It's in Clemson for Kay Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, Clemson, and LSU. A day earlier, they've got Texas and Ohio State. Fox grabbed it. They have not said yet whether it's the big noon kickoff game.
That's a Saturday?
That's correct.
Okay.
But that is it is going to be on Fox. The rest of that Saturday lineup on ABC is going to be Syracuse versus Tennessee. It's in Atlanta at noon on that day, so 11 a.m.
Okay.
Alabama, Florida State is the next game on ABC that day. That is Alabama at Florida State. That's in Tallahassee.
That's interesting.
For the Tide and the Seminoles.
If I'm DeBoer, I win that game.
They also announced that will be Lee Corso's final game day appearance that day. And they probably going to broadcast from FSU.
They should.
That is what it is anticipated, is that they will be Alabama at Florida State.
I know it's not the biggest game, but that he deserves that.
He played there from 1953 to 1957.
And he lives there, right?
I don't know the answer
in
to
that area.
That would help.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
ABC is also going to air Notre Dame at Miami on the 31st at 6:30.
Is that a Sunday?
That is a Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
Right?
So I think.
Or even a Monday. Somebody get a calendar. Or ask Siri.
August 30th is the Saturday that Ole Miss opens.
Is it?
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, we got those games opening weekend. It's fine. Are you looking or not?
I'll look.
No, it's fine.
No, my phone was lighting up with something else. August 30th, 2025.
Thursday is Saturday. 31st is Sunday. September 1 is Labor Day.
Okay.
So, yes, let's rephrase how we did all that then. Yes, Saturday and Sunday. All right, sorry.
All right.
ABC is also airing Notre Dame at Miami, 6:30. That's on August 31st, so Sunday. ESPN is beginning week 1 with a Thursday doubleheader of Boise State at South Florida. Oh, boy. That's at 4:30 Central, by the way.
Okay.
Makes for an easy hand raise, guys.
It does.
First game's on. Go ahead. And Nebraska against Cincinnati at 8. That's your doubleheader for Thursday.
Woof.
It's a Big 10, Big 12 tilt.
It's true.
There.
It's true. Got playoff.
Power conferences.
playoff
implications in this bad boy. That game's in Kansas City, by the way.
Okay.
Nebraska and Cincinnati in Kansas City.
At Arrowhead, I presume.
I assume. Network also has Virginia Tech versus South Carolina. That's at 3 o'clock. It's at 2 o'clock on the 31st, so Sunday.
Okay.
The Hokies and the Gamecocks.
See, it's the one Sunday you can do because the NFL hasn't started yet.
A lot of poultry in that game.
Once the next Sunday rolls around, you can't play that game.
And then Bill Belichick and Jordan's North Carolina Tar Heels debut against TCU at 7 o'clock on Labor Day.
If he's still there.
Oh, you got doubts?
Oh.
No, he went on SportsCenter and said she had nothing to do with the program. Did you not read his comments?
I have not read his
comments.
comments. Well, if I tell you right now that I have a head full of hair, does that change your perception?
He said she's not involved in any capacity with the North Carolina football program. He said it. National TV.
Okay.
No one lies on national TV. It was there. It's in week 3 that Notre Dame is doing a primetime visit from Texas A&M.
Okay.
September 13th.
That game's at South Bend.
That is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, NBC released kickoff times for 7 Notre Dame home games, including Texas A&M, USC, and Navy, September 13th, October 18th, and November 8th.
Notre Dame's schedule is always fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just kind of out there.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have any true cupcakes, but then they play some bad teams.
Notre Dame 2025 football schedule. All right, Notre Dame opens at Miami August 31st, as aforementioned. Get a weekend off before they play Texas A&M at home, Purdue at home, at Arkansas.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Notre Dame?
September 27th. Boise State at home, NC State at home, USC at home, at Boston College, Navy at home, at Pitt, Syracuse at home, at Stanford. Not a lot of L's in that puppy.
Not a lot of L's. Who's their quarterback?
I don't know.
Okay. Yesterday was the 19th anniversary of the Brian Walker faking getting hit by the pitch in the Ole Miss Arkansas game from 2006. That was May 13th, 2006, when Brian Walker had a bad acting job on a Brett Buckfish inside fastball.
Really bad.
He got brought back to the plate by the home plate umpire, struck out, and then proceeded to throw his bat and yell plenty of profanities. The best part of the video is the athletics trainer who walks over to, quote, check on him, who is trying not to bust out in laughter as he is checking on his elbow.
Just doing his job.
Van Horn looks completely dejected to have to defend his player in that moment because he's going, hell, okay, but come on.
Knowing what I know about Dave Van Horn, the post-game meeting between he and Brian Walker did not go well.
He yelled at Walker much more than he yelled at the umpire in that moment. Yes. You made me be the asshole out there because I had to go for you, and then here we are.
He likely apologized to the umpire and then took out the frustration for having to issue that apology on Brian Walker yet again.
Brian Walker ended up being an assistant coach under Van Horn later on.
Right?
I believe that's right. I think he was like a third assistant there for a little while.
He took his medicine like a man.
He I mean,
that almost assuredly did not go well.
Jeez. Brian Walker. Yeah, he has been a coach, or either is still a coach. Yeah.
That'd be a funny podcast.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he is now. Maybe this is in Arkansas. In 19, it says former Razorback Walker named baseball coach at Rogers Heritage. So maybe he's
up there.
So maybe he's a high school baseball coach now. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. All right. We will look at the NFL schedule tomorrow, look at some more college football stuff. You guys asking questions. I'll note a few of those for tomorrow as well. And then Ole Miss and Auburn get set for a final weekend of the regular season in baseball. We'll run through that schedule. It is 6:30, 7, and 1:30 at the 3 times for the Rebels and the Tigers, Thursday, Friday, Saturday from Swayze Field. To wrap it, Ole Miss currently 9th. They have to finish 8th or better to get Tuesday off in Hoover and start on Wednesday. Also note, I was wrong on the tiebreaker scenarios in case, because Ole Miss Alabama is in prime territory to potentially be in a tiebreaker depending on how the weekend goes. So it's head-to-head, but past head-to-head, I thought it automatically went to how you did against number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It does not. It is combined record against common opponents.
Okay.
So you would have to go figure out who you played that Alabama played or whoever played, and then go from there on determining who is what, because that definitely could cause some 8-9 situations and who plays on Tuesday and who plays on Wednesday from that scenario. Also of note, the quarterfinals are broken into 2 days. So if you're in one side of the bracket and you win the first 2, if you play on Tuesday, you get Thursday off. If you're on the other side of the bracket, you might have to win 2 and get Friday off.
Gotcha.
So there's some weird stuff from that standpoint as well. Just check it out whenever we'll get there. We'll explain it to you when we know more. But anyway, last week in the regular season. So take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow. RebelGrove.com, MPW Digital. Got a lot of content up, and we will talk to you soon.